What's up, guys? It's Lord Botha here with another video, and Mass Effect is one of those series that's very near and dear to my heart. I grew up playing it. I consider Mass Effect 2 to be one of the best games ever made. It's one of those rare instances where everything I didn't like about the first game, they just took and got rid of. Everything I did like about the first game, they expounded upon. And even though the franchise didn't really stick the ending with the last game, and I do have a ton of gripe about how they ended it, I think Mass Effect as a franchise is one of the most legendary in terms of innovation in gaming and storytelling, especially within RPGs. It's one of those game franchises that put a company on the map like BioWare. That said, ever since Mass Effect 3, BioWare has been on the downslope. The Dragon Age franchise is all but dead, thanks to the massively woke and horribly devised Dragon Age Veilguard, and Mass Effect Andromeda did no real help to the Mass Effect series, as it was clearly not cared for in the same way that the rest of the Mass Effect games were. Then, of course, when Veilguard hit the brick wall of reality, the developers of Mass Effect 5 were quick to come out and say, no, we don't have anything to do with the Dragon Age team. Do not affiliate them with us. Our game is completely independent. We're going to stick to the style and the realism and all the feeling of old Mass Effect, is essentially what they said. And now we're hearing rumors of possibly even more good news about Mass Effect 5. Mass Effect 5 removing woke content amid gaming community backlash. Rumor. And this is a rumor. It comes from a Reddit user claiming to be a developer at Mass Effect. So take everything that's said here with a big grain of salt. The article states it's claimed that BioWare is removing woke content from Mass Effect 5 amid backlash in gaming community. Warner Brothers recently confirmed that the woke Suicide Squad game led to a $200 million loss. Warner Brothers game's woke Mortal Kombat is reportedly canceled and no longer developing new content. Additionally, there are claims that the Gaming Awards, voted on by woke gaming journalists, snubbed Black Myth Wukong for Game of the Year. It's also been alleged that GTA 6 is going woke in a big way. Now, I haven't seen really any rumors that points to GTA 6 going woke in a big way, other than the fact that they said that they're going to try to, or the devs said, I think, that they're going to try to tone down some of the mean-spirited comedy or whatever towards certain protected groups. But I'd have to see some actual gameplay, something more than just the teaser trailer that they released to get any kind of sense of that. Also, Black Myth Wukong did get snubbed, I think, for Game of the Year, but I can see the arguments for why Astrobot should win it. I think the actual snub for Game of the Year is actually Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Everything they said that Astrobot did, Space Marine 2 also did. And to be honest, it just was quite a bigger, culturally impactful game, and honestly cooler. And the Suicide Squad game and Mortal Kombat game, while also being woke as hell, also were terrible in their mechanics, and everything about them just felt off. But the article goes on to state that the Reddit user says that BioWare had a meeting and wants the woke content removed for the game. In another post, the dev also claims that the current build has pronoun selection. This is a quote from the supposed developer. "We got an all-hands-on-deck meeting last week. Devs were asked to delay features, art, and content that may be deemed woke or political and defer them to future patches. As quality assurance, we were tasked to report if we audit or detect anything that might resemble them so they can be fixed. The company wants to launch the game as clean as possible and introduce woke stuff silently through patches. I fear this might be industry-wide. They wouldn't be issuing this so early otherwise, so tread carefully, that's all." While the developer claims that BioWare plans to remove woke content from Mass Effect 5 before release and intends to include it in DLC, Grums, aka Mark Kern on X, suggests that BioWare really means that the content will never see the light of day. Quote, the rumor is going around that BioWare is asking for woke content to be paused and delayed, perhaps patched in at a later time. I can tell you this, when management says delete this now, they don't really plan to add it in later. They are saying that to keep their activist employees from rioting. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't like Grums. I think he's up to some shady stuff when it comes to his own independent game that he's developing, right, Ember? If you're interested in any information on him and on that subject, check out our boy Nasmr's video. I'll put that link in the description for you. But here I think he might be onto something in this specific subject. If this guy really is a developer at Mass Effect 5, and he's saying that people want this woke content to be taken out of the game, I highly doubt they're going to spend the extra time and money to try to insert it back in later on, especially when it seems like things that would be considered in the base game features, right? Pronoun selection and all that. Also, by the way, when it comes to pronoun selection, I'm part of the crowd that I don't really care. Yes, it hints to wokeness and modern day audience and all that stuff, but if you want to do a male-female selection thing, if you want to do a man-woman selection thing, if you want to do a body type A, body type B selection thing, or a pronoun selection thing, or any combination thereof, I don't really care. It's a create your own character selection. Be as gender non-conforming as you want there. What I care about is when that kind of stuff is actually woven into the actual narrative and story, because then I don't have a choice in the matter. Especially when you have something like Dragon Age Veilguard where you can't really be somebody who rejects that kind of nonsense. You gotta be nice about it no matter what your options are. Now, this game could come out and still be extremely woke and be terrible. Or it could come out, be slightly woke and be good. I mean, look at The Outer Worlds. There was a game that was fairly woke, and I didn't think it actually had that great a gameplay. And people really liked it, and it sold pretty well. And there's a sequel coming on. So it's possible to have a game that's woke and does well. It all depends, again, on the story and mechanics as well. But I'll say this, if this Reddit user really is a developer and these kinds of conversations are happening, it probably won't hurt the game's chances, especially with feelings towards this kind of ideology today. People just aren't about it anymore. And if they're able to stick the landing in terms of the overall story and mechanics, like I said, and they head in this direction of more political and ideology neutrality, I think they could have a winner on Mass Effect 5. And Lord knows, BioWare needs a winner. They're not in as bad a stance as other developers, but they're not great. Especially after the giant L that was Dragon Age Veilguard. But what are your thoughts on all this? Go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, I appreciate you watching all of it. And we'll talk to you again later.